we're going to go over our inside zone scheme. Which is basically our inside zone play, which could be 44 or 45, which is 2 back, 34, 35, which is 1 back, under center, and 24, 25 belly, which is our cutback zone play from the gun. So again, 40s 2 back, 30s 1 back, 20 is in a shotgun series. All right, let's go. Again, we'll start with over, under, stack, and Oaky. Over defense, we said had a 3 technique. Could be a shader, 1 backside, 4 in the box, weak safety, strong safety, or wheel back. All right. If we call zone 44, just regular zone 44, it means the fullback's going to come backside as a cutter. He's going to come backside as a cutter blocker. All right, we've got enough people here now to handle it. So the center can come up, he looks at the front, if we're in an R formation, and basically we're going to go Mike left, all right? So we could run into some problems, check, we're not going to go Mike left, we're going to go Mike right, because we've got to work and push this here in case he falls back inside. So we'll stretch, one stretch outside the breast, tight outside the breast, no crossover step. One thing we do on the inside zone scheme, there is never a crossover step. No crossover step. All right. Center's 1 step up and on the backer. Tight cutoff. Over and pin that linebacker right there. The tailback's going to come and run it off, reading 1, 2 there. If that works out, ball's in. If that pinches, right in the combo, ball work out. And a lot of times people are setting this safety right here, so we end up with a Trey Reed type principal block over here on this side here. So the tackle and tight end may have to run a Trey Reed. If you've got a deep 7, safety set tackles over and 1, tight end may have to go inside foot, work that, and combo that off to get to that back. All right? So that's the inside zone scheme. The problem area being that we saw some this summer is when the center has a 1 technique, we've got a 3 and stuff backside with the 7 and the safety. Well, we're here, boom, working that. All right, still declaring Mike right. Now the guard may have to come inside foot, center's 1, and try to force that nose guard over to that guard and try to ricochet that center up. We're still working the power slip back here. Fullback's a cutter. We run the zone play inside. We have to go to more of an ace read principle right here. We're more of a combo kind of scheme. Ace read, work it up, and take it. The safety walks up on the line of scrimmage, the tight end ought to be out here and go. All right. So that's the over defense. That's the over defense. If we come back and we run it against the under front, got a shade, 5 and a 9, backer, 40 look back here. Got an uncovered guard, so I must have an Oaky look, or I got a 50 look. Tight reach, boom. Guard, one stretch, no crossover, up on the back. Now, we will game plan this nose guard week to week. If he's a runner or a flat down the line guy like Wake Forest has, we may hard stretch and reach him like a stretch play, try to hook him up and get him running. We're watching power slip backside, hooking him up, fullback back on the cutter, running it in here, reading the block. Nose runs like hell, tailback takes it behind. If he's a power guy, big hit, thick body type guy, then we'll tight reach his ass, try to get him hooked and stick the ball here front side. Okay? Guard, bend, reading, uncovered. Anytime I'm working front side B gap, I'm working B gap. I step, 5 technique spikes. I got to work up and work a double off and get the tackle up on the linebacker. Anytime I take that zone step, I'm expecting spike. If I don't get the spike, I'm up on the linebacker, hitting him in the mouth. Okay? So that's the look back there on the under front. We go to stack. We go to a stack defense. Sam, Mike. We got zone 44. We got a cutter with the fullback. We're tight reach, over and up, boom. Same thing. I'm uncovered here. I'm watching for the spike of that 7. If it doesn't come, then I work up to the linebacker. Tight end takes that one step up, try to get a little flow, hard cut off backside, up on the backer, cutting on the backside in. Tailback reads it right there. All right? Tailback reads it right there. Now, the only difference between that and if we were in the gun, if we were in the shotgun right now, we were running belly 24. Belly 24. Everybody would be exactly the same. Now, the tailback's aiming point is that left cheek of that center. So he comes in there, boom, boom, boom. This takes off running. He gets the handoff, he'll wind it back, cut the ball back in here. Now, that's number 34. I come in here and I start up on 34. 34 closes real hard on me as a tackle. He closes real hard. I take the 3. I take the number 3 and I pin him on his backside number. I pin him down inside. The tailback's got to make me right. If I come off and go up and he spikes out, he works out, and I'm going to come up and turn and get on the jersey number 4 and turn him out. If he sits there and plays me straight up, I'm going to hit him in the damn mouth, and they got to read it. If this end comes up field, we're going to give the football off. If the end closes hard down inside, the quarterback's going to pull it and take off and run through where the end was. He's going to take 1, 2, and head where the end was. That's why it's so important. If they exchange and that linebacker runs out here, the tackle, you turn and kick that linebacker out. That backer's out here. You turn and kick him out. The end runs the quarterback now. Will run off of your block. He'll come back and run off of your block on the belly play. All right? So, but the belly's a little different than the inside zone play. If we've got an Oaky, look, you got to play this a couple ways, all right? Mike's right. It would have been Mike right under too, on that under front. We got the backer here, backer and shade. You got the 40 look backside where we're working the power slip here. Now we're still going to work Mike right, boom, boom. All right. Now one thing we will do every now and then on this, if this backer, to get him to bite, that nose guard's there in that backer. Every now and then we will run what we call ace tag. Ace tag. tag. That means that right guard, now he gets a tag call from that center. You're going to take one little short step, boom, and drive in. You're going to take one little short step right here, boom, come off, and you're going to tag that nose guard, and that linebacker will step up, play ISO, and then pop to get him. So it's an ace tag. It's a tag technique. You come straight off the ball, right, left, boom, tag it, and ricochet off, and hook up on the tag block. All right, you got an Oaky look. You got a 5 technique. We're going to stretch, expect spike. Spike doesn't happen. You get back. Now we got power scoop. The center, I got to snap. I got to stretch and try to get on this outside breast. Get him lifted up, guard step it. If nose jumps, then the guard's got to get square and get up on the back. Stay locked on the cutoff backside with the tackle. Fullback will take the end. Tackle cannot let that 5 technique or 4 technique spike across your face. If you've got a 4 or 4-eye back here, if you've got a 4 or 4-eye, you got a deep drop step, hook up and lock up. I do not want to cut. There's no cut block on the back side of the inside zone. I'm going to stay up. Like on the stretch play, we're trying to whack that guy because the ball, on the stretch, the ball is headed out here. So we've got room to whack back here. On this play, the ball is headed right here. So we'll get, I've seen this thing come off, hook up, lock up, and run that guy flat. I've seen that ball take and wind right out the back door of that play right there. So there's no way, there's no cut blocks on the inside zone. Stay up, lock up, great hat placement. First step, and hat placement. 2 big keys on that right there. And no crossover. No crossover. If I get an Oaky front, we come up and say it's shaded this way. Say they're in an over, 55 over. Well, they're snugged up in here a little bit. And I got the shades weak. And wheels off the ball. So if wheels off the ball, then we're going to work this power slip right here, scooping back. Power scoop, scoop back. Now we're almost in a deuce read situation. We're almost in a deuce read. I'm still going to take my step and come, but that tackle, instead of stepping out with his right foot, you may have to come off on the inside and let me try to force that guy to you and get up on the backer. Or if he jumps onto me and locks onto me, then I work off and get the backer, pin that. We get the cutter backside, that ball can hit right out there. Okay? Now, we're going to lock up here. The fullback needs to know that when he's heading back, if I've got that locked up, he may have to come inside out to get the block on that Will linebacker. When Will's in a hip position, now we can game plan it where if he's in a hip position, he's a loose 5, then we'll take you on through for that and let him cut that right there. We can do it 2 ways, however we want to do it. Right now, we try to leave him on the end man line of scrimmage and send us through. But if I start through and he jumps my ass, if he's playing heavy and tight, I promise you, when you go through, he's going to jump you and squeeze you, trying to play a 2-way game with the Will, play him in or up. If they do that, you lock up, and then this fullback's got to adjust and make it up to the back. But we are in a deuce read situation right here. Deuce read off to that back. All right. Okay. So we've got over, under, and stack. And Oaky on the inside zone scheme. All right. Now let's get into a little bit of full wide stuff here and look at the belly play. The belly's just not really different, but we're trying to get a different thing out of the belly than what we are out of the true 44 zone. When we run the belly play, anybody knew anything, the back's going to be a little bit deeper. He's going to be lined up a little bit more in the gap here. If we're running the stretch play, if we're running stretch 28, that running back's going to be sitting there and his toes are at 5 yards. His toes are at 5 yards. The quarterback on the stretch is going to line up with his toes on the heels of that running back. So that running back can take a clear, straight release point straight across here, and there's no interference. Then we want him stretching it to this other halfback spot before he presses the line of scrimmage. If we were under center, and we were 7, 8 yards deep, we would want that running back running through this point to get to the imaginary tight end. And we would bring the ball back and hand it off to him right there. Which is the same thing we want on the stretch play. We want this back to come across, get that ball, and take it to that same junction point right there before he starts pressing the line of scrimmage. With the thing. All right, on our belly play, this back's going to get it about 5.5, and he's going to cheat in. Here, basically, he's toes to toes with that tackle. Now we're going to cheat him in and get him in that gap a little bit. Now his aiming point, he just opens and comes downhill to the left cheek of that center. Left cheek of that center. You got a butt crack right there. All right. It's like Hudson's half a crack. Right there. Comes that butt cheek right there. Get the ball, and now we're reading this backside in. Whoever the backside guy is, we're reading him. We've already went over it. If we've got a 40 look back here, it's a pure power slip. Boom, in and up, jack it and work it. Take care of the down guy first. If you don't get on the linebacker, I'll likely not jump on your ass. If you're hurried up and get to the linebacker and this tackle can't make that block, then I'm going to get on your ass. I'm going to rip your ass. Right there. Power that 3 technique out of there. Again, we talked over here, if I've got the 1 and the backer, I'm on a little bit more of the guard coming inside foot, center come up. Try to force that guy over to the guard where that center can get up and make that block. Because that linebacker's going to go 1, 2 and fly like hell when this back dives in there. He may not even go 1, 2. He may just fly like hell. So we're in here running this angle. Center's not ever going to get him. Center's got to be over and up. Just square, over and up, square, over and up, tagging that off and rooting it out. You two basically ought to be blocking this like the play was going this way. Inside foot doom, 1 foot, tag it, and get on that backer there. Basically is how we need to block it, even though it's front side on the play. Even though it's belly, this is belly 24. And what we're trying to get out of this thing is nothing but an inside veer scheme. If we get this lifted pretty good, we'll hand it, and that end plays upfield, we're going to hand it, the ball will go there. Or if we get good push on this and that 3 technique closes like hell here a little bit, then that ball will come and wind right out the back door. Alright? If we've got a 1 technique backside, if you've got a 1 technique backside and the backer, again it goes back to that. Boom, get him either running or whatever we got to do. I'm 1 and up. If he closes, I pin him. He exchanges out, I pin him out. If he stays there, I hit him in the mouth. So I'm taking him on 3 different angles. Alright? And basically all we're doing now as an offense, we're running the inside veer backside. All we're doing is veer blocking, closing that, but we're running the backside. Just a little history lesson for you. In the old days, the split back veer, you had this, and this, you would have doubled that, he would have went in, and we'd have took and dove that ball right in there. Dove it right in there and read him. he would have come around on the pitch and go there. But that would have been called zone 24, running it that way. And if we had the 3 in that back here, we'd be there. That'd be zone 24. Doubling that up and working off too. That's zone 24. Well, now we're running belly 24. We're running belly 24 against the same look. Against that same look. Only this now is being blocked front side. We're blocking that. We're blocking him. Alright? And now we're running back this way. If I had the 3 technique over here, to be there, I'm up on the backer, the 1 technique back here, boom, and now we're veer blocking on that linebacker. So here's the 1 technique here, we're veer blocking on that linebacker, we're running this play side. This is a play side. This is a play side hit right there. We're doing the same thing, only we're blocking here, up, boom, and going in. But now it is a backside read, and the defense has a lot of problems with it. Pulling that and running it, it's just ass backwards for the defense. They got to play the option. You always played the option in the old days, play side. Here, he's got the dive, he's got the quarterback, he's got the pitch. Well, now, he's got to dive, or he's got to dive one of them. If they exchange it, he should have the quarterback, he should have the pitch. So, it kind of puts them in a bind, and it's really hard to teach on defense to play that thing. So, that's a good thing for us. So, that's our belly play. On the belly play, the only thing that would be any different for anybody would be on an Oaky front. All right, we'd be locking that down. We'd be working a scoot back, 1 and up, tight right there, taking that dive in there and reading. We get this locked up. Now the guard's got to be, the center's got to be heavy on that. That guard's got to be 1 and up. That nose guard loose back or hangs, you got to help double it up and go with it. That ball, I've seen that ball hit right there and come out, but I've also seen this guard be jacking around that linebacker, come and ear hole your ass right there and just stymie them guards. That guard's got to be ready to go boom up and get on that backer so we can get it wound out the back door. All right. On the belly. And that's basically our inside zone schemes. Now, we have nakeds off of both of these plays. We call it we can run the stretch and run the naked. Let's just put an under front up there. Put an under front. We run the naked to the tight end side or whatever. Put him on the thing and run the naked out the back door. Then we're 2 gapping. You're stretching and trying to come off out here. If he jumps, you fine. If he's not, then you protect that. You're working that. It's going to be hard for you to 2 gap when he plays you. If he plays you, you got to end up taking him. So we're a little shaky in that gap right there on stretch and work. If that nose guard comes back, you got it. If the nose guard stays front side, you secure that here. You got that 3 technique pinned right there. This is where you take your shot. I want low pads. Low pads. I want to hear the pads pop. I want to hear the pads pop. When you're on defense and there's a play action pass or the line comes off and you're in there playing defense and you hear no collisions, I'm getting the hell out of there and dropping because I know it isn't a run. I know it isn't a run. If I'm here playing linebacker and I hear them pads come off, bang, and them pads pop, and y'all knocking the shit out of these guys, them linebackers are gonna step up. When them linebackers step up, all that does is allow that tight end to get across there clean, and it helps the play. And then we get free releases, and it really puts them in a bind. So we want to sell the run. 3, sell the run. Sell the run with low pads. Make them pads pop, and take your shot. And when I mean take your shots, I'm talking about if that 3 techniques there right there, you come down, you bury his ass. You get your head in front, you take his ass all the way to that tight end spot. If that five techniques hanging on the inside of him, you take your shot at that 5 technique, you run his ass all the way to the sideline. So that is our nakeds. That'll be the same off the inside zone or the outside zone. We ran an inside zone, zone 44 naked. We'd come here, y'all block it exactly the same way. Boom, boom. Now the fullback would come out here in a flat, tight end come across. We'd fake that and come out the back door. We have all kinds of people open. So that's our naked blocking scheme on that. If we've got a 40 look on it, if you've got a 40 look on it, say we're in an I and you got a 4-3. What's really fun is when you get the guy shaded. Your heart out here, you're going to get him. But your heart out here is secure the outside shoulder, you're over to get him. You got to clean his ass, and you're down in here to get him too. So your head is in front, your head is looking for that back hip. There ought to be some shots on him. He ought to get the shit knocked out of him. And there ought to be some shots on that guy. Just pin his ass out. You may have to, if it's a 9 technique and the tight end's running across it, right, you may have to take a little drop step, let him clear, and then go get it. All right, if it's a 7 technique on the inside shoulder, then you take him right now and he'll have to go outside the release to get across. All right, then we'll put the fullback back here in the flat, run the zone scheme, come out. That's our naked block. These are the rules I want you to know on naked. These are the things that we're looking for on naked. Want low pads, I want to hear the pads pop, sell the run, take your shots. Take your shots. High pads, if I'm a free safety back here playing and I read real high pads and your hands are all out, I'm dropping back. I ain't taking the cheese on shit. If I see you guys coming off smoking low pads, boom, I'm gonna bite. As soon as I bite, somebody's getting in there behind me. Somebody's getting in there behind me, and you cause me a problem, I got it. So, we got the inside zone plays, we got the belly, we got the nakeds, play actions. We should know the difference between our stretch in the shotgun and the belly play. The belly play is aiming for that cheek. We're reading this thing out right there and going. Inside zone block means we're tight. That's inside zone scheme right there. If we're running stretch, it's going to be a lot more like this. So, the angle of that back dictates the angle of that line. The angle of this back, so that back dictates the angle of the line. So we're kind of in conjunction with the running backs on how our release points and all should tie in. Okay?